Okay, so I've just come back from my little adventure with the infamous Steve and Emlyn, because, you know, I'm a little crazy. And as it turned out, it was absolutely fantastic, went really smooth. And what you're about to see now is exactly how it happened. So enjoy. Thank you.
Right, we're on our way to Gorseinon today to interview a couple of witnesses about the triangles that were seen over Swansea area on 19th of January 1983. So we got a lovely day for it. 1st of November, but you would think it would be the 1st of August. And we do. Last August, I think it was more like November, so they're switching around this year.
Hello, I'm Steve Drewson, co-founder of Swansea UFO Network, together with Emlyn Williams. Today's Sunday the 1st of November 2015, and we come to Brighton Road, Gorseinon, Swansea, near the Workmen's Club, to speak to Mr. Milan Baljak, together with his brother Byron. Now this is regarding a UFO sighting they experienced some 32 years ago on the evening of Wednesday the 19th of January 1983. That's become locally known as the Night of the Triangles. So welcome, Milan. Would you like to tell us a little bit about what happened that night, please?
Well, that night, it was 6:15. We were standing here, and one of our mates with us, so Roger Williams, just looked across the road here, and he screamed out, "What's that?" And as we looked across here towards the house there was a row of white bluey lights, very small. And as I came over the top of the house, the whole thing tilted. In between these houses here, we could see a triangle shape, a huge triangle shape. But the only lights we could see then was the shape of the triangle, one at the front and one each side of the other side of the triangle, with a red light, not in the centre, towards the front. This thing was floating in this direction, very slow. You could walk fast in it. And we immediately ran over to this side of the road here, and we were actually under it. And where we was astonished, it was just moving so slow, and went in that direction. When one of the boys, when they went out the sight completely, we watched it for a while till it went out the sight. And when my brother and his mate went in, they phoned Swansea Sound. Well, while they went in there was two smaller triangles in this street here, going up and down just past each other like this, but much smaller.
That's why you were inside
I was
up Swansea Sound.
They were I was here.
Went inside.
These two went into Swansea to phone, and I was still out here. I stayed here, and out of nowhere, this street here, there were two smaller triangles up and down each other like that till they completely went out of sight. No sound whatsoever. But this thing here was huge. These were smaller. It was really big, wasn't it?
Yeah,
right in front of us here.
I remember, to be honest.
Yeah.
So initially then the sighting was opposite the club?
Yeah, right here.
And
Come over that.
What sort of height were they?
What'd you say? About another length on top of that house there?
But it's awkward to say. I just remember the size of it. Say from here, I mean, I reckon one corner would be half the height of this again.
Of the red brick building?
Yeah. And going to the point of that one.
Yeah.
And then going over to sort of centre.
So you're saying it came down from the north then? That way?
That's where I saw it. I didn't see any of those, so it was a huge triangle, so from house to house, and in between to the gap. Yeah. So it was that size.
And about 50 foot up there?
Yeah, twice that. Yeah. But I couldn't see anything in between it, apart from the lights. And that was it. I looked, but I couldn't see any.
You couldn't see anything. A body?
I couldn't see anything in between it. But it was definitely totally different.
Black helicopter.
They're
watching us. They're watching us.
They're on here, yeah.
They're on us already.
So you went in then to...
No, my brother went in and Roger went in.
Right.
And as he went in, I stayed here. As it was, they'd gone that way, so I stayed here just having a look around the skies. And then out of nowhere, they just started looking, and it's just there. And there was two smaller triangles going up this street here, down towards there.
Coming up parallel with the road?
Yeah, exactly in a straight line here. And slowly, back and forth, just missing each other like that.
But the first one had gone by then, had it?
First had gone completely. These had gone into phone, And I just stayed, on the nose around, I would look at the skies, and then it was there. Just looked that way, and they were there.
Even so, you couldn't see anything between the first one.
I could just see it. I could see it was a black shape. It was a black triangle. I could see that, but you couldn't see.
There was definitely a craft there.
Oh yes, yeah. But you couldn't see how thick or deep or anything it was. You know what I mean? All you could see was those lights, and you could definitely see in the really black shape of the triangle. You could see what shape it was, but you couldn't see what depth it was. Nothing like that, you know.
So it's after it came down here, you said it went off to the west.
Straight in that line, straight down where that car's going. Straight in that line down there.
How did it turn? Did it manoeuvre or did it?
Only from when it came over this house here.
Yeah.
It tilted here.
Yeah.
And then you could see it was a triangle shape. You couldn't until it came over there, and it tilted. All those little white lights went off, and it straightened out in between, like Byron said, in between those houses there. And then you could see it was just a light on each point.
See that then?
You know.
What sort of time was it then?
6:15.
6:15.
Yeah.
And it was dark then, was it?
It was dark, but only just. You know what I mean? It was only just dark.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Like we've got a place to look at, waiting for the pub to open.
Yeah.
That was happening exactly the same time as other people were seeing.
Yeah, well, we always said, we always knew the time.
Swansea.
6:15. We meant, it was 6:15.
What was your feeling at the time? Were you scared? Were you just in awe?
I'll be honest, I've told Emlyn this, right, and this is true. I went home that night, and I know it sounds stupid, not many people would say what they'd done, and I burnt all my UFO books in the garden. I did. J. Hynek, all that lot from the early days. And I noticed the following day then, all you could hear was jets, and flying around as if they were looking for something the following morning. But it was weird, I mean, I knew that that was nothing made here, that was, well, as they say in this world, I think so, yeah.
I don't know if you can remember this.
Yeah.
It's nothing to do with here, but...
Yeah. On the corner with Roger?
No, just me.
Yeah.
If you remember the year, you're probably better than me. Before that new road.
Oh, the orange ball?
When I was going, I was going down from...
Yes, that was you.
The end of Gowden, so it's a commercial pub and the main road. And the road that's there now, you're just rubble, and I was walking home. I lived on that way, so shortcut.
Down the old railway line?
Down the old railway line. I remember I was walking down that road, probably, and I lit it up and I looked up, and as I looked up, there was this orangey red light, so I just kept my eyes on it all the way while I was walking. Just kept looking at it and looking at it. I think, that is amazing, that is amazing. And I just looked, and all of a sudden it just went, gone. And I was amazed. And you think to Mel, what do you think about things like this? If you remember back, that's the third one I've seen, because it goes right back to Gwen when we lived up there on the hill, but I can't remember much about that.
Yeah.
And you saying, what did we do? I used to be coming home sometimes, fair enough after a few drinks, but I used to be saying, come on, if there's anything, take me, come on. I would have loved it. Nothing I would now, but I would. I read a lot about massive into David Icke at the moment, but he's another thing. But
right.
Very, very odd.
I don't know if Roger's
true.
I don't know if Roger's ever told you this, but that's Roger, the one that was you who cited it first year. That same year, it was the same month or same week, that same year, Roger was coming to my house hysterical from walking back across the common by Swansea House. Yeah, and I don't know if he told you this, Byron, and he had to call some people to come and have a look to see what he could see.
It was near Swansea Sound Studios.
Yeah, it was on the common there where that new roundabout is there, and there was two crowds in the sky there with like a metal pipe or light, he said, coming across it. Now he called these people over because he knew what they'd say it was two aeroplanes refueling in the middle of Gowden. I don't think so, but that actually came in and told us, and he called these people, and a few couples were walking back from the Kings to have a look at it, and they seen it, he was just there, not moving at all. And
can I quickly go back to you say after you came back from looking at the other one, you ran down that alleyway.
I came across the road where that car is there, and I was right under it.
And you said there were two triangles moving up and down the road.
That was this way.
Were there any features to see on those? Any lights?
No. Oh yeah, just lights.
Any idea what sort of depth they were? Because
no, you couldn't.
That's a report of what depth they were from other people.
I know. I've seen one that your mate's got on there, right? the one in Killy, was it, or wherever you were.
Yeah, sketchy.
And I thought that was unusual. He was so flat. But I'd saying that, I mean, I couldn't tell. You couldn't.
Well, that was happening exactly the same time.
Yeah.
Was it like a two-dimensional image? Was it that type of thing?
Yes. You could not see. It's a massive black, but you couldn't see the depth on it at all. You know, you just couldn't tell.
So the two that were moving up and down the road, what happened then? How did they go?
Well, just straight down and out of view. The house there, straight down over there, over that way. And it was still, as far as I could see, it was still going like this. But disappeared down there, over that way. Yeah.
Were they far above the houses?
No, they weren't.
So they went.
I'd say they were just above. See the highest peak there? I'd say they were just above there. You know, and they went out of sight there over the end house.
Over the rooftops then?
Yeah. But
Any
smaller.
sound?
No, there was no sound in any of them. No sound at all. I mean, I was right under there. And it was just. I surprised myself. I went over to have a look. You know.
Could you just reiterate what size they were?
Well, I'd say this one here. The one I seen here, when I was under it, was the size of 2 aircrafts. I'd say.
What do you mean by aircraft?
Well, jets, liners.
Jumbo jets.
Yeah.
So it was large then, you know.
Oh yeah.
And what about the two?
Well, I only seen this from a distance, you know.
Yeah.
And these didn't look nowhere near as big as that, you know.
This is the only one.
That's the only one you, yeah.
And
Oh yeah, of course.
Look-
You were
looking at
then
that.
phoning up Swansea Sound when this was going on.
These were
No.
Oh, they were Swansea. Right.
that's the only one I saw was this.
Well, it's
And
weird because that particular night, the guy in that we spoke to in Phil Jones, he said that they were really small, about the size of a saloon car.
Oh.
Well, that one that his dad saw, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, that was a bit shocking.
This
Yeah,
one there was huge.
yeah, it was.
Absolutely
That's
huge.
what I said. I'd say it was at least twice as big as an airliner.
I understand that after it happened, you went into Swansea Sound and you were interviewed.
The following morning, yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got one of our members that actually can remember that.
Yeah. When one of my mates, my son got back to me, Robert, 2 days ago, and said, he said Brian Hardy was looking at me to have a chat, and he said he knows about the interview on Swansea Sound. And my son Robert said to me, my friend's father was working in a garage in Gowden and knew it on the radio. So, you know, a few people knew about it.
Was it a kerfuffle in the village? Did other people see it and stuff?
Not that I know of, no.
But they sketched it as well, didn't you, if I remember rightly? Did you?
Yeah, and not only that, the one that lady put in the post.
James Thomas.
Is it from Killy? His son's been in the garden and they seen the.
Oh, she was from Pendrachwyth.
Was it? Yeah.
But she was leaving work in Visco's in South Dock
Yeah.
just after 6 when she saw these 2 triangles.
Yeah.
And that was happening at the same time as these ones here.
Well, on the front of the post, when you must have seen them, the lady has drawn 2 triangles there. I mean, that's exactly what we saw. That shape, where the lights were, that is what we seen.
Yeah.
You know.
You didn't notice any protuberance coming from underneath it?
No.
Like it was
And I was right under it. No.
nothing like
There was nothing at all.
What arrangement with the lights?
Well, as it came over here, there was a row of small bluey lights, a load of them. But when it tilted and came here, just as everything went off, and there was just a light on each point, on each peak, you know, and there was a red light towards the front of it, and like I said, right in front of us. Well, I couldn't believe myself. I went across the road after the following day. I thought, what was I doing? Like, you know, you only see that in films, but I was intrigued. Straight over, and I ran underneath it, and it was just that slow. No sound, nothing at all.
Okay. I mean, I've had weird experiences in my life, right?
Yeah.
And there was one particular experience that when it was happening, there was a feeling of there was a part of me that wasn't surprised, but there was another part of me that's that.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Did you get that kind of
I
feeling?
did, yes.
At the time, like I've been reading these books for
I
years,
did,
and
yeah,
all of
and
a
I have.
sudden it's real after
Yeah,
all.
I mean, I've
You
seen
know?
lights in the sky for years. I've followed things since 1969, and all I've seen is the odd light in the sky, which has meant nothing at all to me.
Yeah.
You know, it's been nothing. You know, I'd say to myself, oh, that's only this, that's only that.
Yeah.
And I know about planets and Venus and all this and that, they blame it on, and that's rubbish. I mean, to see something like that floating above your head, well, it shook me.
Yeah.
You know, I thought, you know, I tried to follow this for years, but this is real, like, you know.
Well, it must have shocked you because you went and burnt all your books.
Well, I did, really. I did. I'd say about £300 worth. You know.
But was it a fear feeling that you had?
It was. It was in my head that, my God, you know, we're definitely not alone. I know it's an old saying, but we are not. And you know, what's going to happen in the future. I don't know. You know.
Was it a feeling of anxiety, possible danger?
Yes,
that type of
all
thing?
that put together. Yeah. You know, I mean, like I said, down the garden, got the lot there, put them in a box, and burned everything.
Yeah.
You know. And I tell you, to be honest, that night, as old as I was, I went to bed that night and closed the blinds and the curtains. I didn't want to see what was outside.
Yeah.
You know.
What age were you at the time this happened?
Well, 32.
32.
32 years old, yeah.
What year was this?
It's 1983.
Of course it was. 'Cause I was silly.
Yeah.
Silly.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Well,
well,
you said the following morning there was lots of military aircraft.
yeah. I mean, you know, everybody say people didn't see him, but everyone was talking about the noise, the planes and that. You know what's going on, like. Yeah. Went on for a couple of hours, back and forth, very noisy, very low. Yeah. So I thought to myself, oh, they must be looking for him. You know. But you know, yeah, I never expect to see nothing like that. And there's so much. You know, I mean, yourselves now, did you ever hear of any triangle UFOs before? Because I didn't. No, before '83.
The only one I can think of is the Phoenix Lights.
I've seen the Felix lights, well, but that was nothing like this. I mean,
That was in the 90s though, wasn't it?
yeah, but
in 97, I think.
Yeah, certainly pre-80s it tended to be saucer-shaped or cigar-shaped.
yeah, cigar shape
From
and
the
that.
80s on,
Yeah.
there seemed to be a lot
But
of
I
reports
myself,
of
I
that.
never heard anything about UFO, triangle UFO. I never heard that before. Never read about it. Never seen nothing until that night. Yeah, you know. So it's like over the years they change in form. They got new ones out. You know.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Anyone got any further questions for Milan?
Did yeah, I do. Your family's reaction when you actually told them that you've seen this? What was the usual thing? Was it the skepticism?
My father was the funniest one. My dad was Yugoslav, right? Yugoslavian, right? And he's very abrupt talking, lovely bloke, but very abrupt. And when we told him about it, told him what we've seen. So, don't be silly. He said if you've seen that, they'd be showing themselves up by now. All these years, people reporting this and that. He said, you know, we'd have known something by now. Why hasn't they landed then? That was very abrupt, you know. But that was about it. Yeah.
I think people are afraid. People are in a box and they don't want to get out of that box.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
they're afraid of the unknown.
people I have told about it, they've been afraid. You know, they've been, God, you know, is that right? I said, yeah, that's right. I said, you know, and even my missus today says to me, you know, you can tell me the story. He said, you must be telling the truth. I said, well, I am. And I said, why do you say that? And she said, because every time you say that, all those years ago, you say exactly the same thing. The times, what you've seen, the lights and all the rest of it. I said, well, you know, you've got to have a good memory to be a liar, and this is the truth. You know, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that, but they was. You know.
Has there been a part of you that have always hoped, perhaps after you got over the initial shock and everything,
Yeah.
like 10 years down the line,
Yeah.
did you ever think, well, I wouldn't mind another view, I'm
Yeah.
ready for another one now?
Only, do you know what? Only lately.
Is
Only
it?
lately, yeah. Yeah, it's in the last, well, I say lately, in the last couple of years perhaps.
Yeah.
You know, when I've been part-time taxiing and doing school runs, sometimes I'm out early in the morning in the winter, and I'm always, you know, having a look, see what's here like, you know.
Yeah.
Because 6 o'clock in the morning on November morning is lovely, you know, with a clear sky. But no, nothing. And I have thought, you know, I'd like to see one, but maybe not quite that so close, like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Milan.
Okay, thanks, mate.
Cheers.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Right, nice one.
Thank you.
All right, then.
Okay.
See what the other brothers doing there. Are you right now?
Right, I thought that went well. Milan and his brother Byron were very affable and good speakers. And it really shows that these sightings can affect people. From what he was saying, that he went home and burned all his books. As a young man, in his 30s, he'd never seen anything like that before, and it really affected him.
So, yeah, he was very, very interesting speaker, wasn't he? So there we are. On to the next one.
On to the next one.
Right.